Well, a very good morning, everybody, for Thursday, the 29th of July. Well, finally, we've actually got a little bit of a flyable sort of respite. We tried yesterday as best we could. But thankfully, we packed the kit away just in time for a big sort of thunderstorm to come through. And we've received quite a lot of rain over the last few days, sort of making July yet another fairly wet month other than the last 10 days or so. But for today, low pressure in charge. Westerly winds for today and a series of fronts, but they're generally keeping away until tomorrow, where we might see an area of low pressure again move through, and then into Saturday and Sunday, where it just remains a bit changeable, the weather, sunshine and showers. I'd say westerly winds, and that's generally bringing sort of 250, 260, reasonably strong at flying heights for this time of year, so probably seeing 20 knots minimum across most areas, maybe even 25 in some, but west-southwesterly. And the satellite picture over the UK for once is actually looking not too bad. Not too much of my shower activity across sort of England and Wales, but a wave into Wales there. The task area out in towards sort of East Anglia, away from windward coasts, looking fairly reasonable. Top temperature today of around sort of 19 to 20 degrees. If we look at the public forecast, that probably rings true as well. The Met Office on the public forecast just showing that risk is spread out, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And dew points hopefully into single figures today. Red alarm is showing not too much of my shower activity. I don't think any of this is really going to reach us. There is still the chance of an isolated shower, but I don't really think that's going to be something which is too pressing of us today. And the potential flight distance is somewhere in the region of that. So yeah, out towards sort of the Oxford region, as usual, the best of the MS straight over the airspace. But yeah, obviously a little bit tricky coming back into a strong wind if you're going to go way out into East Anglia, but it shouldn't start particularly late. If we look at sort of 11 o'clock, we should already have cloud base here of about 3 to 3,500. And then once we get to around lunchtime, probably seeing 4,000 above sight, maybe even 4.5. North and to our northeast might even see 5,000 feet. Maybe even in some areas 6,000 feet out towards Cambridgeshire. You can see we're just sort of on this dividing line where there might just be a little bit too much moisture. We end up getting just a little bit of spread out, and the soundings do sort of show that as well. But yeah, in our area, probably shutting off at about 6 o'clock, but you probably would be able to glide in from where there is less spread out. Cloud distribution. Good compared to recent days. You're not seeing the showery blobs on there as we go through. I'd say sort of early afternoon you might see some more effects of the spread out, but keeping north and east you will not see that so much. And the thermal strengths could be quite reasonable for a time. Looking at this, probably 3 knots. You can see that wind definitely, this is even showing a little bit north from the wind. Always top meteo gets it just slightly off compared to most of the forecasts. But yeah, 20 degrees our maximum today. Current temperature at Lasham is 14, dew point at 10, and that's the picture outside. We don't always like seeing cumulus this early. If it was an hour later, I'd be a bit happier, but at least it's going to be soarable at some point today. Odium is reporting a few at 1600, going up to scattered at 3000, and occasionally a little bit gusty this afternoon, but nothing that bad. And I think Farnborough's fairly similar, not even showing the gusts. It's nowhere near as bad as it was yesterday. And David's forecast sort of generally agrees, but he said band of top cover or spread out. You can see, but yes, that wind is causing us a little bit of a problem. I'll leave that on there for a few minutes, but yeah, Friday unfortunately not looking so good. Had looked better earlier in the week, but yes, we don't seem to be getting much luck with this. Hopefully it's saving itself up for the comp. We can also see on the soundings that there's a risk potentially of some spread out. You can see the inversion, the low level inversion warms out, but they've got quite a lid as we go up through here. So yes, just be aware of that we may see some overdeveloped Q at some point and spread out in the region, and maybe even in the way of too much top cover. The soundings generally show that as well. That just look at Buckingham, which is just to the north of that. 20 degrees will give sort of reasonable cumulus, maybe a little bit too much at about sort of 4,500 feet. It's at 1 o'clock. And 5,000 feet at Cambridge, where it's probably quite good cumulus actually. Shows a little bit of risk of overdevelopment with showers, but I don't think that's really that likely. Compare that to Larkhill, you can see there's a bit more risk for either top cover or a little bit too much in the way of an inversion, which will give us a bit of spread out. So yeah, a reasonable day compared to the last few. I wouldn't certainly miss it. Airspace wise, Farnborough and Solent active as usual. 13, we have under the Solent airspace a parachute display between 7 and 8 this evening at Worthy Down. It's just north of Winchester. So yeah, don't sneak under there late at night. Fairfield will be active all day, whilst Bryce Norton's runway is continued to be put right. Keevil gliding competition. Oh, they might have removed the clay pigeon shooting, no turn. 26 and 23 will just be pyrotechnics still at Abingdon and cultural events. We need to get those removed from the NOTAMs. 30 out in East Anglia, military parachuting. That's at night though in Norfolk, but do expect some increased activity in that area. I know some of the RAF assets, because of Bryce Norton, have been positioned at Mildenhall. And just, yeah, other than that, fairly quiet. 32 air display in the region of Leicester. That's, yeah, nothing particularly. And number 10. Yeah, Goodwood ATZ is active for an extra hour tonight. Okay. No jet movements today. Apologies if you were woken up by the one departing at 7 this morning, but that makes our life a bit easier, doesn't it? It was going off to Malaga to pick up some celebrities. They're not coming back to Lasham though. So, but yes, 2-7 we'll go with today. Hopefully we'll get a stick with that. We'll see how many there are of you. If there's only sort of a handful or sort of 10 or 15, then we might go on the runway. If there's a few more of you than grid, don't mind, but just beware the grass is quite wet at the moment. Hopefully the wind will dry it out a bit, but yeah, having to use the winch booms again in late July. I mean, what's going on? I don't know. They were saying about sort of climate change has already arrived in the UK, and I'm sort of inclined to agree with that at the moment. So yeah, okay. We'll see you on the airfield today because it's going to be a good one. Bye for now.